Physiology. Eat these nuts for steel-like erections if you're over 60. Advice for seniors. Advice for elderly. Let's talk man to man. That's what I told Tom, a patient of mine, 68 years old, good health, retired Navy. He sat down in my office, leaned in, and whispered, "Doc, I don't wake up with it anymore." He looked embarrassed. I looked him straight in the eye and said, "Tom, you're not alone, and it doesn't mean you're broken. You see, after 60, your body talks to you differently. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And one of those whispers is in the bedroom." I've spent over 3 decades helping men just like you, men who've built careers, families, legacies, but quietly wonder if they've left a part of themselves behind. So today, we're gonna talk openly. No pills, no gimmicks, just real food, real science, and real results. 6 powerful nuts that can support blood flow, testosterone, and yes, bring back that steel-like confidence you used to know. Sound good? Then stay with me. You'll never look at your pantry the same way again. Macadamia nuts, the testosterone tonic. You know, Gerald, he's 71 now, walked into my clinic last spring with a grocery bag full of supplements. I'm talking capsules, powders, drops, enough to open his own vitamin store. He said, "Doc, I'm doing everything right, but nothing's working." So I asked him one simple question. "What kind of fat are you feeding your hormones?" He blinked, then shrugged. "Olive oil? Maybe? Butter?" What I told Gerald, and what I want to tell you, is this. Your testosterone isn't built in a bottle. It's built in your kitchen. And macadamia nuts are one of the best tools you've probably never used. These buttery little guys are loaded with monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy kind found in avocados and olive oil. But here's the kicker. A 2020 study in Lipids in Health and Disease showed that men with higher intake of these fats had better total testosterone levels and improved HDL cholesterol. That's win-win for your heart and your hormones. Now, I'm not saying you need a bowl of them every day. Just a small handful, 7 to 10 nuts a few times a week is enough to support your endocrine system without overdoing calories. And here's a little secret between us guys. Macadamia nuts aren't just healthy. They feel luxurious, like you're treating yourself to something classy. And believe me, after 60, we all deserve a little class in our health routine. So go ahead, swap the evening cookies for macadamias. It's not a diet, it's a strategy. And Gerald, let's just say his supplement shelf's a lot lighter these days, and his smile's a whole lot wider. Brazil nuts, the hormone switch. I'll never forget Jack, 65 years old, always neatly dressed, farmer engineer. He sat across from me and said, "Doc, I'm tired, not sleepy tired. I mean man tired. I don't feel like myself anymore." His blood work showed something surprisingly simple, low selenium. Now, selenium isn't some trendy supplement on TikTok. It's a trace mineral, tiny but mighty. And guess what? Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium on the planet. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day, that's all it takes. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that selenium levels were directly linked to testosterone production, sperm health, and even mood regulation. I told Jack, try 1 Brazil nut with breakfast for the next 3 weeks, nothing else. 3 weeks later, he walks in grinning. He says, "Doc, I don't know if it's placebo or nuts, but I feel sharp again. and my wife said thank you. Now, I'll be honest, you don't want to overdo it. Selenium is powerful, but too much of a good thing can cause issues. That's why 1 to 2 Brazil nuts daily is your sweet spot. More than that, you're just tipping the scale in the wrong direction. And let me tell you, when a man starts sleeping better, feeling stronger, and walking with that quiet confidence again, you know something in his body has clicked back into place. So ask yourself right now, is there a little bit of Jack in you? If so, maybe it's time your breakfast tray made room for something small and powerful. Almonds, your heart's wingman. Let me tell you about Louis, 72, a retired firefighter. Strong handshake, still chops wood in his backyard. But a few months ago, he came to see me and said, "Doc, my heart's solid, but I've lost my edge, you know?" I ran his labs. His cholesterol looked decent, but his HDL, that's the good cholesterol, was lower than we'd like. So I asked, "What kind of nuts are you eating?" He chuckled, "Just the ones in ice cream." That's where almonds come in. Almonds are rich in vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy monounsaturated fats, the same fats that nourish blood vessels and help testosterone do its job. They don't just lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, they boost HDL, clean up your circulation, and keep things flowing smoothly, above and below. One study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that daily almond intake improved endothelial function. That's your blood vessel health, the same thing erections depend on. So I gave Louis a challenge. Swap the cookies for a small handful of almonds every evening, no excuses. 1 month later, he grinned ear to ear. He said, "Doc, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect it, but it's working. I'm feeling more like my old self again." And his wife, she started packing almonds in his lunch without being asked. That says a lot. Now, if you thinking almonds sound boring, try them roasted with a pinch of sea salt or pair them with a couple slices of dark chocolate, because this isn't about snacking anymore. This is about fueling your manhood the smart way. Walnuts, nitric oxide power. Let's talk about blood flow, because listen fellas, this is where the magic happens. No blood flow, no show. You can have all the desire in the world, but if the plumbing's not working, the part is over before it starts. Now meet walnuts, your new best friend in the bedroom. They don't look sexy. Let's be honest, walnuts look like tiny brains wearing sweaters. But don't let the looks fool you. Inside, they're loaded with L-arginine, an amino acid that boosts your body's production of nitric oxide, the stuff that opens up blood vessels and gets things moving. A clinical study from the Journal of Urology showed that men who ate a handful of walnuts daily experienced improved endothelial function, which is science speak for better blood flow where it matters most. Now let me tell you about Curtis, 69 years old, used to joke he had 2 gears, slow and asleep. I told him, "Kurt, just 1 handful of walnuts a day. No pills, no powders." He said, "That's it?" I said, "That's it, unless you're allergic, in which case we pivot." 3 weeks later, Curtis shows up, grinning like a teenager. "Doc, my wife baked me walnut banana bread." I told her, "Keep 'em coming, babe. These nuts are working." Now remember, you don't need to eat half a forest, just a handful. About 7 whole walnuts a day. Not covered in sugar or chocolate, just real whole walnuts. And let's be real for a second. If you can eat something that helps your heart, your brain, and your manhood, why wouldn't you? Pistachios, the bedroom nut. Now look, if almonds are the quiet, dependable type, pistachios, they're the flirt. They show up looking smooth, full of color, and when you crack one open, boom, a surprise inside. Sounds familiar, right? All jokes aside, pistachios are not just for bar snacks or fancy airline peanuts. These little green guys are packed with plant-based protein, fiber, healthy fats, and most importantly, L-arginine. Yup, the same nitric oxide boosting compound we talked about with walnuts, but pistachios take it up a notch. There's a 2011 study out of Turkey, one of my favorites actually. They gave a group of men 100 grams of pistachios daily. That's about 2 handfuls for 3 weeks. Result? Their erectile function scores went way up. Blood flow improved, cholesterol dropped, and satisfaction? Let's just say a lot of smiles were reported. Let me tell you about Henry, 73, retired mechanic, still drives his '68 Mustang. He told me, "Doc, if pistachios can give me a little turbo boost, I'm all in." I laughed and said, "Well, just don't go drag racing on day one." He came back a month later and said, "Doc, let's just say the engine's running warm again." Now, I do have to warn you, they're high in calories, so don't go eating them by the bucket. A small handful a few times a week is enough. And stick to the unsalted, roasted kind, not those neon green sugar-coated imposters. Bottom line, pistachios aren't just tasty. They're a natural, science-backed confidence snack with benefits you'll feel both in your heart and a little further south. The one nut before bed, doctor's ritual. Let me share something personal with you. Every night, before I turn off the lights, before I put the phone away, I eat one Brazil nut. Not a bowl, not a snack, just one. It's part of a quiet ritual I've kept for years. No fanfare, no biohacking nonsense, just old-fashioned science and a bit of self-respect. Here's why. That one nut delivers all the selenium I need to support healthy testosterone production, especially during sleep when your body naturally rebalances hormones. Studies, including one from the European Journal of Nutrition, show that selenium taken in the evening may better align with circadian rhythms and improve overnight testosterone synthesis. But more than that, it's about intention. You see, at this stage in life, we don't just need results. We need rituals that honor the man we are and the man we still want to be. And yes, I've had patients chuckle when I tell them, "Doc, just one nut?" And I always say, that's right. You don't need a handful to be powerful. You just need consistency. Let me tell you about Mr. Baines, 81, pharma history teacher. He started doing the same thing, and a month later, he emailed me, "Dr. Prescott, it's like waking up with my old self again. Not a teenager, but me in full color." So if you're feeling like things have gone a bit gray, maybe it's time to bring back a small, intentional step. One nut, one choice, every night. It's not about the nut, it's about reclaiming your rhythm. A new chapter begins. So, what did we really talk about today? Not just about nuts, not even just about testosterone or blood flow. We talked about something much deeper: agency, vitality, dignity. I've met hundreds, maybe thousands of men who thought their best days were behind them. They stopped reaching for passion. They settled for fine. They quietly gave up. But here's what I've seen in practice again and again. When a man starts taking small steps for himself, just a few nuts a day, a better bedtime, a walk in the sun, his body responds, his confidence returns, and his presence comes alive. You don't need a prescription to feel like yourself again. You need knowledge, you need consistency, and maybe a few good snacks. Now, before we go, I want you to remember something. You are not invisible. You are not broken, and you are not done. You're just entering a new chapter, one that requires a bit more wisdom, a bit more intention, and a lot more care. And if this video helped you in any way, leave a comment below. Let me know which nut you'll try first. Better yet, share it with a brother, a son, or a friend who needs to hear this. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, because here on this channel, we talk about real health, real aging, and real answers for men who still have more life to live. Until next time, I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, and you're not in this alone.